So what can we do? When most Americans go to the grocery store, they buy the foods they want and can afford, never considering the plastic and cardboard that contain them, nor the plastic bags they are placed in, nor the paper cup and plastic fork they are given when they stop for a bite to eat on the way home. All of these took resources and energy to produce, as did the air conditioning and lights they left on at home and the car they drove to get there. And they probably don't think about what happens when they throw away those packaging and single-use containers. But there is no away. From the garbage, they will find their way into a dump or into a river and out to sea. But simple changes can decrease our ecological footprint. Recycling your material helps, but reducing your consumption by buying less or carrying reusable containers is far better. Bicycling and walking are good for individual, social, and environmental health. Rather than throwing away uneaten food and using water and effort to keep up a grassy lawn, you could be composting and growing some food of your own, reducing dependence on industrial agriculture and fertilizers. Even changing your diet and what products you buy and companies you support can make a huge difference, but it requires doing a bit of research and getting others to join you in making ethical shopping decisions. Unfortunately, our lives are not built around those solutions, and fully committing to them as a society would mean changing the structure of our lives, as well as our cultural norms and values. And ethical choices require ethical options, but market competition makes it difficult for companies to produce in sustainable ways. An ethical company would likely need to raise prices, but without consumers actively choosing them, they lose demand to cheaper competitors. Politicians could encourage change, but as we've seen, they too are influenced by powerful industries, and by the need to please voters, who often prefer their problems to be blamed on a scapegoat rather than on their own behaviors. True sustainability, actions that can benefit us today without endangering future generations, requires larger institutional changes. Improved technology can give us renewable, less harmful energy sources and material production, as well as more efficient products that last longer. Appropriate government regulations, especially if they apply across borders, could balance the market to allow all companies to compete ethically, while government investment could provide potential technologies too risky for private industry. Finally, global efforts to educate and provide opportunities to have fewer children with better lives could relieve the population problem. Massive changes to society are difficult, especially if you are not already in positions of power. But social movements almost always begin with grassroots efforts by ordinary people, and have ended slavery and gotten women the vote. They are made up of individuals who organize efforts to spread awareness of problems. Those that are successful also suggest and fight for practical solutions. Social problems are complex and depend on a combination of objective evidence of some harm to individuals or society, as well as a subjective belief in that problem. For instance, most people would agree that people killing each other is a social problem, and the evidence clearly shows thousands of lives lost. Yet, cars kill as many people as guns in this country, but most people see them as a normal part of life, while showing far more concern for school shootings, which are statistically a very minor problem. Just as deviance depends on social labels, so do social problems. So social movements depend not just on evidence of social problems, but on making the claim that such evidence should be taken seriously and dealt with accordingly. Social movements emerge with individuals getting together around a common interest, and coalesce with a larger public outcry until they gain formal recognition. Some movements decline after changing public policy, while others fade into the background after failing to be accepted or generate change. Success means successfully influencing public opinion and political powers, with a combination of evidence, emotion, and specific suggestions for change. This requires getting resources and people on board and organizing them effectively. Some celebrities have gotten involved, using both their money and charismatic authority to contribute. But new internet technologies make it easier for anyone to get involved and make their voice heard. Yet, any movement for change will likely face opposition from people in existing power structures, and counter-movements that provide counter-evidence and label social activists as deviants. We've studied some major institutions and macro-level social problems in this course, and the micro-level social forces that shape our personalities and interactions. You may not agree with all of the problems and solutions I've focused on, and that's fine. Whatever your perspective and ideology, just be sure that your understanding is based in objective fact, and recognize the biases of your own culture and privilege, as we all begin with them. For me, the point of studying society is to change it for the better, Knowledge is truly power, so if you want to improve your world, you have to understand the structures on which it is built. Radical solutions require radical change, but they have to begin with yourself. From there, you can reach out to others in your community and across the globe and work together towards a better world.